Hi there folks, Money Ride team around the table once again. Fantastic, talking about racing. Thought we'd better finally film that after chatting for about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
It's been here a while, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what we like when we get around the table talking about racing. This is just a small video for the upcoming sort of bigger races, one for a better word. We're going to touch upon the Fighting Fifths, Coral Gold Cup and Tingle Creek, of course. I'm yet to buy my ticket, but I do hope to be joining the rest of the lads there. So yeah, a little preview of those races, who we fancy at the minute. We say every video, you never know if they'll run.
No, it's all conjecture
It's
at
all
this
conjecture,
point.
exactly, yeah. You know, we never know whether they'll take up these entries and whether they'll get declared, but there we go. So we're going to kick off with the Fighting Fifth. I think probably the best place to start has got to be you, Mark, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah,
for one reason only, really. So get us underway then, mate.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this one. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be as well. I hope so.
It'll be a cracking race as well.
Constitution Hill is probably the only horse that I can really talk about in this one. I'm just so excited. I just don't know what you think. You know, like I said, we were sitting here talking for hours on end, talking about different races, different horses, etc., etc. But Nicky Anderson's not really had it his way so far this season.
I don't think he has for the last 2 years.
A lot of negativity, a lot of criticism towards him, his runners. Jonbon recently, but Constitution Hill, that we saw him when I say what we spoke about in our ones to watch. The fall that stuns Cheltenham, then to go on again, falling at Aintree, and then just not being at the races at Punchestown, finishing fifth of 6 runners. But I feel that going by a few little interviews that we've seen in Nicky Anderson, I feel that he wouldn't send him out for me in this race if he knew that he wasn't 100% ready. Yes, he's taking on a real top horse in the new line, who was fantastic in the Turners at Cheltenham. But I just think that Constitution Hill, it's more so one just I'm going to sit back and just observe, more so than actually a selection in this one, because it's going to go one of two ways. If he comes back and he's how he was before his fall at Cheltenham, then wow, it's going to open it all up and it's going to be really exciting on the road to Cheltenham. Or it could be, we don't know. It doesn't really feel like it no more.
The thing that's stuck out to me though as well is New Line's not run, Constitution Hill's not run, and Sandown hasn't run either.
Amsterdam.
So none of them have actually had a.
Well, Amsterdam was supposed to run the
Morgiana, but then
pulled it.
Pulled it out.
Okay. Well, when I wrote my notes, none of them had actually run. So I'm thinking,
no, he hasn't run. That's what I'm saying. The Morgiana's this weekend, obviously, when we filmed, was due to run. They've pulled it now. Lost him out. But yeah, I see what you're saying.
So going on from your point, obviously, we're hoping to see some sort of Constitution Hill back, but we're also hoping to see him straight out the gate before he's even done a bit of work, really, if you know what I mean. But obviously the trainer will tell us otherwise, of course. But I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I'll be honest. My selection's a New Line, but because of what he's done. That's not to say if Constitution Hill come back with his A game, then he's certainly a match.
We know what his A game's about.
Exactly.
Don't we?
Is that A game still there? I don't know. I hope it is. As a fan of racing, I hope it is.
Yeah.
But I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
So my actual selection per se would be the New Line, but I'm still intrigued by the fact that none of them have had a run.
I'm quite surprised as well that with, like I say, the 2 falls and the 5th at Punchestown, for Constitution Hill to be sent to a race like the Fighting Fifth, and obviously we knew that his plans a couple of seasons ago, when we went to the Fighting Fifth, then wanted to go to the Sandown, then obviously went straight to the Cheltenham trials before going to Cheltenham. Obviously, look, we all know it doesn't quite work out like that. But to come back in such a race where it could... Now, I'm not saying it will tarnish Constitution Hill's what he's done, but if he comes back in this race and all of a sudden he gets beaten by 5, 6, 7 lengths by the New Line, who to me is the new horse of the division, and it could be sort of a changing of the guard. We don't know.
Do you think he's risky?
I think it's very risky. That's why I'm more wanting to observe on what he actually does than more actually say, because I think he's 13 to 8 or 15 to 8, I think, on Unibet, which I think is still quite a reasonable price for Constitution.
7 to 4, what I can see.
7 to 4 there. So there are still the backers out there. And he does warrant being that price. But when you say taking on a horse like the New Lion and you see what he's done in the 6 or 7 runs that he's had, when you see his performances, the 2 falls that he had, let's say, look, you couldn't help that. But his performance at Punchestown, finishing 5th the way that he did, has put a few question marks. But I'm more excited to see him back on the racecourse.
You're just hoping that we can recapture what we know he had once had, and if that's what you're hoping for, really, it
is a risk. But I know that someone of Nicky Henderson. He's definitely took a long, hard look and a long, hard think about this. I can tell by your facial expressions, Jamie, I'm not too sure if you're in agreement with Constitution Hill running or you're concerned. I'm not sure. I mean, what are your views on it? Do you think...
well, it's going to be
I've just taken Glenn's limelight away, by the way.
No. It's not going to be a no bet for me. If I want to have a bet, it's for me, it's watch and learn.
Yeah.
I think with Constitution Hill, he had his gallop at Newbury. Didn't really show that much. All right, he's done well galloping now, but not jumping over hurdles. There is some race courses do like a schooling session, things like that. So I know that the race courses are starting to do that. So like with barrier trials, with On the Flat now, they're doing some trials over fences to give them a bit of experience, like all the novices and things like that. I've looked with it with Constitution Hill, it's going to be watch and learn and see how he does on his race and the first 3 hurdles over. It's the first 3 of most important, I think, in the race. To see how he's.
See, 'cause it's really tricky. Sorry, Jan. It's really tricky, isn't it? Really? Because you could run him in a midweek race at Wetherby, for example. And then if he wins well, everybody go, but he didn't race against anything. And people will just assume it's just, he could still be like rubbish, if you know what I mean.
That's the devil of the deep blue sea.
That's what I mean. Because they must have been torn on what's the best course of action, because let's say if they run him in a lesser race, no offence, and he wins well, they'll go, but we haven't learnt nothing. Well, I think if he runs in this run well, we can go, maybe he's back.
See, it's obviously he's got a plane going from there to there to there, because it was the same thing where I had Rivich at the time. It was, we're going to go to that race. It was all planned out, and it's the same thing with Constitution Hill. It'll be fighting 5th. Then it'll be Christmas hurdle, and then trials day, and then champion hurdle. So that's the 4. If he doesn't turn up on that particular race, like the Christmas hurdle or the international, that will go okay. Then not the worry, because he's had 3 runs, so we could go to the champion hurdle. But because he's had how many days off? He's been off 206, I think, 211 days off. You've got Amsterdam, he's been off 307 days off. But looking at his form, 262 days off. But then Amsterdam is a little bit of a strange one, because he's had a few bits of setbacks. Because when you look at his form, you've got like he's ran on the 30th of November, and then it was from the 26th of the 1st. On 2025.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been in and out, and I think there must have been the setbacks.
Well, the issue with him is he was highly touted for the champion hurdle, as in Willie Mullins' champion hurdle. But what a lot of people have failed to see is this horse has been around longer than people think. He's just been injury plagued.
Yeah.
So to be honest with you, there is, because of his past, there is a chance he won't even make Cheltenham.
No,
exactly. There isn't for a horse like.
But if he's got that way about him where he picks up niggles,
there is obviously something. He's like the Darren Anderton of the horse racing world. Do you know what I mean?
Now you're showing your age. You're a young man compared to me. That's what I mean.
Sick nose. Do you know what I mean? And he's a very capable horse. I mean, he's won every race he's run. But
don't get me
when
wrong,
he runs, do you know what I mean? But with Constitution Hill, there's a bit more.
Well,
Anybody who doesn't know Darren, and go look it up.
To me, it's
Won't be a lot of clips.
to me, it's not going to be a big field.
Oh,
You're going to have Amsterdam. Burdick Road won't run.
No.
Golden Ace will,
but
because of the situation that she ran at Wetherby, because she scoped dirty and she finished second. There was only two runners in that race. Celtic Dino will run because he's a Welsh champion hurdle, the same as Lump Sum was, and that ran in the fighting fifth and finished third. Celtic Dino won the Welsh hurdle, and then when it was second, who was second? Guess who was second? Alexei. Now Alexei won last time, and then won at Cheltenham. Now there might be Alexei won't be going to the fighting fifth. Alexei might be going to Cheltenham champion hurdle.
The only issue with Celtic Dino runs tomorrow. Yeah. So will they run it a week after?
Is La Lumba still?
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. La Lumba.
But
still in it. Won't
go that
way.
It's going to go Arkle.
Because La Lumba won at Exeter and it's gone over fences, novice chasing, and it's going to go Arkle.
Look, realistically.
So I reckon, like I say, sorry.
No, go on.
There's going to be. I was at Amsterdam 1, Golden Ace 2, Celtic Dino most probably, Colonel Mustard 10-year-old 1, and a listed race at. I think was at Navan, most probably could be 3, Constitutional 4, New Lion 5,
Amsterdam
and
6.
There might be, and I might be, because of the problem with the New Lion, because I'm going to be a devil advocate, is how the hell they're going to train from a 2-mile 5 and he's going to train from a 2-mile race, because he's won a 2-mile 5 done one. Was it Brand like we said before? Won the Turners, which is 2-mile 5. The thing is though, it's a shorter distance. Now, would it be that Skeltons have got another horse called Katina? Now it could be a pacemaker for it or not, but Katina could run in now because she won at Wetherby and that was just a no contest and never actually had a blown, so she could run in that and could be a pacemaker for the New Lion, because like I say, New Lion, I don't think he will cope with the 2 miles. I think he's a 2-mile 5.
The thing is, you're right in essence, but his first win over rules was at 2 miles.
2 mile, but that's.
I know they've stepped him up, but he's capable of winning.
That's again, over rules.
But don't get me wrong, that's different. That was a class 5.
I mean,
what I'm saying is it's not like he's not running a distance he's never run before. I get what you're saying. They've trained him up to a 2.5 mile. I agree. And
I can understand from a social media point, because there's so much talk of New Line as a hype horse. There's a couple of people on TikTok saying
it's not just talk. Look at he's undefeated.
Yeah.
It's not talk.
No.
So for me personally, and I could be wrong, I think he's got everything in the locker to do it.
Yeah, for me it's
an unknown because, as you say, because other than going right back to that, would you say?
I would love to see.
I mean, we're talking 2 years.
Yeah. I would love to see Constitution he'll win it, because then he'll put if he puts the New Line in his place, then the Skeltons have.
I'd like to see Constitution win, but only the fact I'd like to see the horse return to.
And also, I like to see Constitution he'll put the horses in their places, so the trainers have got to rethink where to go next, or
it mixes it up. It makes it interesting.
So, what would you say if it was the other way around, and say the New Lion put Constitution Hill in his place?
Then what?
What would you do then? Would you then stick with the original plan that they've got?
What with
or would you actually
Hill?
start raising questions of like, does he actually still want it?
The issue is, I don't think you'd have a choice.
No.
Like, as in, you set your stall out now. Unfortunately, the 2-mile hurdle division, there isn't a lot of places you can go, especially at Grade 1 level.
That's
so what they will do
is,
if the New Lion does put him in his place, not that it's irrelevant, unfortunately, you've got to fall on your sword now and see this out.
You got to
do you know what I mean? You've now got to go.
And then the anti-post price will go up.
But then you've got to look at it.
That'll be an advantage.
Yeah, you've got to look at it and go, well, we've already got a plan, and there's not many other plans.
But
at the moment,
it will be Christmas hurdle. Yeah. It will be the
moment.
But then, having said that, it is his first run since Punchestown.
At the moment, he's.
I think So if he does come and it's not a really good performance, he could then go and win the Christmas Hurdle, then go and win the Cheltenham Trials, and then go on to the Champion Hurdle, and he'd probably have the New Line as the red hot favourite in the race. But at the same time, you just don't know. It's what racing's all about.
I mean, like I said, with Katina, it could be a pace centre. So I reckon
it's an interesting first class, definitely.
So I think what we're alluding to is that we're going to probably get a 50-1 outside us with 1 point.
Yeah, what we're alluding to is we've got no idea who's going to win.
I think Constitution Hill will win, but I'm not going to put.
I'm New Lion.
Go on then. You haven't said anything with all your.
No, I have. I'm pretty good. Like I said, I've done nothing but go on about New Line for the last couple of weeks. Every time
for the benefits of everybody watching this video, Sean is very upset and gutted that it's not a Willie Mullins horse that we are talking about.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I want to move on.
We will get to that one.
Yeah, so I think it's 2 versus 2, and it really.
Yeah, 100%.
Me and Jamie is the perfect tag team.
My only concern would be the fact that, like I say, New Line's not run yet, but then neither of some of the other principals in the market.
100%.
So, but I think he's shown that he's got everything in the locker. That's my opinion. But okay, well, let's move on to the Coral Gold Cup then. We'll start with Jamie because he loves his big races.
This is right up his Strasser, this one.
Come on then, Jamie, you can go next on this one.
Well, at the moment, there's 44 have been entered for this race.
There was one last look. Yeah.
So
42 selections are coming your way.
So there's 3 that I just thought I'd just take out. The first one is Dying Quest, trained by Dan Skelton, has course form in her career, has good form behind in the 3 miles plus trips. Also Dying Quest has ran at Newbury before, but that was won in a hurdle race in March 2023. Last time out, she won in the Silver Bowl novice chase, so she's got the experience going over chasing, beating Quebec Curios by 10 lengths. So that'd be interesting. And there's another interesting one, which is
I've got a little note on her.
Which
if you look at the ground, most of her wins have been on the drier side of things.
It could go dry, or she could go like.
She did win over soft on a shorter distance, but if it got too boggy, they might take her out.
Right from there. Yeah. There's another interesting one, which is an ex-Willie Mullins, is Pagan, a 6-year-old, is now trained by Faye Bramley, who's new to the training ranks. It's her first year as a trainer. Pagan was, like I say, trained by Willie Mullins, finished second in the Canali National. That was a handicap chase. Got beat by Nose. So distance shouldn't be a problem. And also she won last time at Carlisle, November, winning a mare's listed chase, winning 9.5 lengths. So that's an interesting contender. That could go big price as well. And the other one I like is The Changing Man by Joe Tizard. I think he should. I think the race is like suit for him. I think The Changing Man is an 8-year-old, but he does reasonably well on the 3 miles and the distance, and he's got like good form. And I think another each way chance, and he deserves to win a big race under his name really. And there's another one. There's a couple that I've seen, Resplendent Grey with Ollie Murphy. He's been done well. Got some good form behind him. Won last time out. Carlisle on good to soft, so stepping up in trip as well. But there's plenty of horses in there who are got a good chance of getting into this.
I've still got 3 or 4 you haven't mentioned. So.
The only thing is, with this race, it's a stepping stone to, I would say, either the Welsh National or the Grand National. So from that point of view, it wouldn't be like a stepping stone for the King George, but I think it's for the national, for the 2 nationals, Welsh National and the Grand National.
Sean didn't get much of a say in the last one, really.
No, that's all right. Well,
so we'll move on to you next then.
There is a microphone point.
I've got shockingly a Willie Mullins. I'm going to start with Spanish Harlem. I think for me sticks out like a sore thumb.
I saw the Silks and I looked at the name and I thought it's the sort of race he plunders.
Because I get
me think.
I get it's going to be very ground dependent with this horse, but the thing is I allude to, you just alluded to, this is a stepping stone for Grand National types. Spanish Harlem, who beat Three Card Bragg, who went and won comfortably at Cheltenham not so long ago, and he beat him reasonably. Actually, he beat a massive field at that point at Listowel, wasn't it, in September?
Yeah.
This isn't loading, so that's handy. But I'm sure he started the campaign over at Listowel. Now he's going to be a distance horse. I do fear the ground. I don't know. We don't know what we're going to get next week, do we? Really, it was Listowel, wasn't it?
Yeah, Kerry National.
Spanish Harlem. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, the Kerry National.
That's all. And he beat Three Card Bragg,
who then went on to win Cheltenham and won well. I think is a fantastic shout because of the form going into it. Worked well because horses behind Three Card Bragg have also run on well since then. French Dynamite I think runs tomorrow as well over in Ireland. But I think that will be one of Willie Mullins' plump national ones this year. I think Spanish Harlem. I think he's a distance horse and will love it. The other one is another one that I think they will tout for it, and has had a run this year, Highland, for Nicky Henderson. Now, everyone got on early doors with this horse, and it went off quite short.
And went quite short on the Grand National. He was quite fancy.
But he didn't get far round.
No.
But on his reappearance this year, I think everyone thought the same thing, where, this is Henderson's.
Yeah.
But they came out and said that horse, that run, was almost like a blow the cobwebs off. Because he didn't get far around Aintree.
Yeah.
They needed to make sure that he can see out a distance. Yeah. They weren't overly concerned about the win. It was about getting the run in the horse. Yeah. I think now he's had that run. If he's going to be a serious champion, he ain't going to be. If he's going to be a serious Grand National horse, he has to compete in this.
Yeah.
He has to go close in this. And he came, and this kind of goes off the back of the Spanish Harlem form where he beat Three Card Bragg. Three Card Bragg then wins at Cheltenham in the race that Highland was 9th.
Right.
But I don't think Highland was run to win.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily saying he's going to be run to win next week as well, but if they are serious contender for the Welsh, he has to start putting in some performances. You can allow him one first start, especially over distance.
Yeah, but he's got to turn it in.
But at some point, that 9 has got to turn into a 3, a 2, a 1, because you don't go into the Grand National off form. Henderson needs to go in on form. He's not a Willie Mullins, no disrespect, where he's going to have 6 or 7. He needs to go in there with a horse that is winning.
If I can throw a spanner in the works, Paul Nicholls looks like there's only 2 entries he's only put in. So if them 2 may not run, will Harry Cobden ride a
for Mullins?
For Mullins.
Well, I'll be honest.
Do you reckon?
I'm hoping so.
Yeah, that's what
I think he'll get some decent bookings this year off of the back of that because
he's won twice on Mullins.
Yeah, and I do think. Well, I mean, Mullins isn't sending a lot over. I think he's only sending the one over.
There's only a couple.
And if you think that if that's going to be the case, and Amsterdam does run, Mullins' top lot are going to be going to Newcastle, not Newbury.
I mean, I've just seen where you just scrolled up and seen Hattie Calours.
Yeah,
now, Hattie Calours could definitely run in that.
My fear is Hattie Calours runs tomorrow though.
Yeah.
So do 3 mile twice into a week is grueling.
But that's definitely
But I get what you mean.
That'll be a contender for the Gold Cup.
I mean, like I say, they're the 2 I'm going to stick with. I think Highland, will go off at a decent enough price. I think it'll be double figure. I think the first run of the season, I'm going to draw a line through. But I think if he's going to be a serious contender, this has to go close. And I think Spanish Harlem, I think we know there's a distance in it. The form stacks up. I do think Mullins, especially if Amsterdam, Cargeese runs, he's going to be sending Patrick, Danny, Paul Town. He's going to be sending them to Newcastle. Yeah. And you hit the nail on the head. If that's the case, everyone else should avoid. Yeah. Because Nicholls hasn't got anything running at Newcastle that Cobden would need to go there for.
No.
So that would be my 2. Spanish Harlem, both at 10s at the moment. But I'd be confident in backing both of them.
Oh, well, I'll go through mine. I've got a few actually I listed down. I've been for Jamie Brown, that special. Yeah.
I was going to say.
Hey. Arse Brewster, 20-1. When I last looked.
Yes.
Been in good form. Won his last 3 over a 3 mile fall. The only downside I would say, the caveat that small fields.
Yeah.
Might go against. Alan King's the Doyen Chief, 8-year-old, but won 2 of his last 3 over 3 mile. Both wins on good to soft. If he tries, maybe not. Then obviously I had Doyen's Quest written down as well, Jay. I written it down. The Jukebox Man.
Jukebox Man. Now he could be. He
acts
could go.
on, hot. Well, I've got here soft,
King
heavy,
George.
good to soft.
Yeah.
So he goes on most ground, and then that brings in Highland form because of his win against Highland. So. So that was another one which I thought was a good shout, because that, like I say, ties into what you were saying.
Yep.
And then scrolling down a little bit further, Mr. Van Gogh.
Yeah, Mr. Van Gogh could go. Well, if he does that, he could go to the Grand National.
Yeah, won his last 3 over 3 mile 4.
Yeah.
3 mile 1 and 4 mile 2.
So I
Excellent,
don't
heavy,
think-
soft. Good to soft. So there's a few extra there.
I
Like I
think
think you
Mr.
can make
Van-
a case for quite a few.
I think
Yeah.
Mr. Van Gogh had a bit of a setback and was going to go to the or he did go to the Grand National. I'm not sure. I think he had a setback, so this could be one for him. So from that, but Jukebox Man, that's interesting, because that could go if he wins or does quite well in the top 3. That'll be interesting. Could be. Then he'll be heading to Kempton for the King George.
Yeah,
And I think King George would suit. I think Jukebox Man he suits him at Kempton for the King George, and I think
that long run.
you got to. I think he'd be quite tasty for a bet for the King George.
Yeah.
Because Ben Pauling has been on quite a good form this season at the moment. Last season was not in and out, I think, but this year he's.
What about Panic Attack? Did he go after winning the Paddy Power Gold Cup?
I don't know. I don't think it's.
It's a bit too.
That's
I don't think that's the course they're going to go. No, Panic Attack Skelton, isn't it?
Is it Skelton? Oh, sorry, Skelton. Yes, he done the aeroplane, didn't he?
But he obviously, it was a recent win, so.
Yeah,
that's all
I
right.
just personally, I don't see him.
Yeah,
running
When he go for another, Gold Cup, he'll be going all Gold Cups.
Yeah, that's it. That's what he's trying to do.
That'd be interesting.
But yeah, I don't
maybe it
know.
might be a bit.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the odds. What was it, like 20 to 1 or something?
No,
wasn't it?
20
So-
when I last looked, yeah.
You do know now that Dan Skelton is now targeting races now with
Value.
for his horses for the track. 'Cause he's definitely going for his trainers. But I don't think he's going to win. I think Willie's going to.
Well, he's got to stack us
He's
some money
going to
up
get
soon,
some
hasn't
money.
he? 'Cause
He will do. He will.
as of
start.
next week, Willie Mullins is coming.
He's
Yeah,
going
but let's be honest, that's how it goes. Of
course it is.
The likes of Willie, this is something else I explained this to the other half. I was saying, these guys get their wins early.
Yeah.
I said, but that guy there,
Gets the money.
he'll come in late to play with his bigger,
I'll give you a
no
head
offence,
start.
but bigger
Yeah,
horses, and then he catches them up
big
because he
boys
wins the
come
bigger
in.
value races.
So coming back to the Gold Cup, what would you select?
Oh, so I've got a few really. So I like Doing Quest, which you mentioned. I like Mr. Van Gogh. I think the Jukebox Man. I'm not sure I could pick one out of all. I think they've all got a really good chance.
Yeah.
I quite like the idea of Jukebox Man, if I'm honest, of all of them. If I was absolutely pushed and put me
coming back from a setback as well.
I was happy if I had to get, but I'd quite happily put a little bit of money on all of them.
Yeah, and just
Yeah,
to be
I
honest.
would go with what I've seen actually.
Yeah.
Changing Man, Pagan, and Doing
And even
Quest.
Ask Bruce for 20 to 1. Okay,
Yeah.
small fields. I know, so maybe the big
It's
fields
a lottery
might be a bit
race,
off
isn't it?
it,
Of course
but
it is.
it is an open race, exactly. It, mate.
What do you
So
think, Mark?
I'd be quite.
To be fair, Mr. Van Gogh's the only one that really sticks out for me.
If the ground's really testing though.
Yeah, the ground he's
Would it?
testing. He has proven though on good ground. I mean, like I say, I was just looking at the form earlier, at Cheltenham, in the Marine Mullins, with Corbett's Cross and Embassy Gardens, I think ran a pretty decent one there, 40 to 1. That was on heavy ground. Just looking at the last ones, obviously got pulled up at air, but it was 3 mile 4 at Sandown on soft ground, 3 mile 1 at Haydock on soft ground, and then Midlands Grand National 4 mile 2 on good to soft ground. So I
Midlands
think,
National.
but as Glenn alluded to, there's so many good top quality horses in there. I like the Changing Man as well, the one that you mentioned in that. I thought that's had some pretty good places.
That was the first one I wrote down, and then I went on from there.
You literally done the Jamie Brownlow special.
I did a
You could have
Jamie
been here till
Brownlow
midnight.
Just
I've even got a couple of notes about Myretown.
Yeah.
And I think Mr. Van Gogh and I had a look on Unibet. It was about 33 to 1, which I think is quite an interesting.
Thing is, it's all going to be a little bit more telling.
But
Is it coming up Wednesday? Thursday?
I think the top of the market, I think it's Myretown, which I think is around 8 to 1. So it's literally just a race where, just pick some out and hope for the best in that, because some bookies are probably paying like maybe 5.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
5 or 6
maybe
places.
6 places in some of them and that. But yeah, I think I'll be having a little punt on Mr. Bang.
The only thing that put me off about Myretown, if I wrote my notes down right, he's only had the one run in the Ultima over 3 mile.
Yeah, this is
So the distance is questionable.
Yeah, so it's just, you know, not saying it's not possible because he won, but
still,
you know, yeah,
100%.
You know, was that a one-off on the day sort of thing? You know. So.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well.
So from a 3.5 mile chase to a 2 mile hurdle.
Yeah. So yeah, we move on
2 mile
to
2 mile chase.
Tingle
Chase.
Creek.
It's been a long day.
What do we say about this? Really, you know what I mean? Does Marks make return?
Oh yeah.
Does he win where he always wins? Does he bounce back again?
Look, I personally, no. I don't think we'll see Jonbon win this season. Do not get me wrong, and before people go on, because we had the live, didn't we, before Cheltenham? And I was saying that he won't win at Cheltenham. He's not, this is a winnable. Unfortunately, for once, I was proven right. Just off of the back that he just doesn't win at Cheltenham. Yes, he has won in the past.
He has won.
But unfortunately, he's got more seconds next to his name than he has ones at Cheltenham.
Yeah.
He's got a heck load of ones at Sandown.
Yeah.
And I would not be surprised if he won again. Do I think that this time round there are better horses? Yes. I think Le Desud has come on leaps and bounds this year, and I think will prove the biggest danger. Well, you got Ella Thomas who won last year, obviously, and actually he didn't just win well last year. He walked past Jonbon up that hill. He just did. Which no one really does that to Jonbon, do they? Because we've been supporting him for years. He's a beast of a horse.
Yes.
We
saw him at the
we saw him at Nicky's.
Nicky Henderson's.
And
we saw him at Nicky Henderson. He looked well. And he looked a huge horse. He looked
he
looked like he's sort of filled out a bit and
he did, but he was clearly obviously too big for Cheltenham because he just didn't seem to want to know. There was no jumping rhythm. He seemed sketchy between
the first two fences. He sort of not guessed. It was just like obviously a mistake. Very uncharacteristic. And
yes and no.
I don't think he was travelling. I don't think he was travelling, and then he wasn't. Really
he wasn't, but let's be real. It wasn't uncharacteristic. At Cheltenham.
No, that's what I'm saying. Sadly, at Cheltenham it wasn't. But
on
the big picture, it is.
Like I say, it's just like with the athletes with the 400 metres and 110 metres hurdles. You have got to get in that championship pace, and if you hit one, that's it.
That's my concern. Is he capable of championship pace anymore? Because of those mistakes are creeping in. That's all.
The one thing that will mention quickly goes away from Jonbon is, and I'm always very sceptical when I come to criticising jockeys and their decisions and what they do. But Nico de Boinville, now he seemed. Also, we all talk about that the horses do make these mistakes, whether they're interested, whether they're not. Now, do we take away the fact of like maybe Nico de Boinville has lost his spark a little bit, do we think? Or do we generally think that, like what you said, Sean, Jonbon has got more twos against his name at Cheltenham than he has ones. When I look at the form of that, this is a consistent horse who hasn't finished out of the top two.
Well, his form line reads 1, 2, 1, 2, 2.
Yeah, but do we actually look at it and think that, because I actually remember all four of us having this debate about, a lot of decisions that Nico de Boinville have made that really seem to upset a lot of the racing popular, and...
he's the most subjective man in the sport, Nico.
But then the only thing is, though, people will forget that he had a right serious injury. He broke his fucking neck in a neck brace.
That's what I'm alluding to, because, the jockeys, they put themselves on the line just as much as the horses do.
But the argument, and me personally, I'm not one of those, like in a football term, is I've never been the sort of person that would be, put your arm around the player, you need support. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, broke his neck or not, if he's cleared to race and he thinks he's 100%, then that excuse is out.
Yeah, but the only thing is, though, he's not...
I'm sorry.
He's not a spring chicken, though.
No, I know that. But what I mean is you can't excuse the man because he had an injury.
No.
If he's signed off to run not the vets, because he's the human part of this element. But the medics have turned around and gone, and thankfully, touch wood, he's fine, because you would never want that on anyone. Like you
but it does take time to get his
100%. No, I don't argue that. But
I think it's the same thing. Like what I was alluding to earlier about Constitution Hill. Now, obviously, you think
it's alcohol free.
You think in the last 5 runs that Jonbon has had, he's had more seconds than he has wins. But what I'm alluding to with what we're saying about Constitution Hill, then my selection for this is Jonbon. I absolutely love Jonbon. He's one of the main reasons
as well.
why
He doesn't lose at Sandown.
He's one of the main reasons why I just love this sport. Because I just love Jonbon. I love his enthusiasm when he gets around the courses. But again, it's the same thing. So he started this season off with a second. Now, just say, you've got 2 other top quality horses in this race as well. If he doesn't win or he finishes out of the top 2, then potentially it's a second and a third to start off his season, not knowing how Constitution Hill's going to get on. So then, what will the plan be for Jonbon? What is Jonbon's plan this season? What is his route? What is his goal this season?
Well, to be honest with you, he's another one of those that's kind of pigeonholed into a type of race. He's a 2-mile chaser.
2-mile chaser.
He's not a stamina horse. We know that. He makes too many mistakes to do that. Like, not too many mistakes, but over 2 mile, because he's quick, those mistakes in the past of that. When you start going up a trip, he can't go that way. No. So the only real option is
the Queen Mother Chase.
It's the Queen Mother Chase, exactly. Or he skips that and goes Aintree. Do you know what I mean?
For me, really, this is a must-win in terms of...
I think it's massive.
6-pointer.
That's what I mean. Yeah, like to use it for, because if he doesn't, then like you say, I don't know what's next.
I mean, don't get me wrong, he's 11-4 in play. I think that's fantastic.
I think it's
for a horse that's never lost at Sandown.
I think it's a great price.
I also think it's a tell.
I think it's going to be a small field.
I reckon
he's going to be
because there is that saying, but we always say there are horses for courses.
Yeah, but there's also
there's going to be a course for
I reckon it's going to be a selected elite field, and I would say
I reckon there'll be 5.
It will be 5 or even 6. I think that will be the most. Eric did Tom. I reckon he might retain his win again. He won last time out. Eric said to Tom. He won it last time out at Clonmel. Last time out in the old chase, Grade 2, and he won that by 18 lengths.
Oh, he went going away.
And he was like, well, I think Danny Mullins will take the ride again. I think Jonbon. He got beaten fair and square. Don't get me wrong. He got beaten in the slow chase, and he looked tired jumping the last 2 fences. But then he was running on to finish second. But then Henderson.
He did finish well, yeah.
But then Henderson said that his horses are about 2 weeks behind. They're like 2 weeks behind, because when we went to the stable visit, my God, that ground was so rock hard, and it was raining, and then it was like he said we can't even. They couldn't even put the horses on the grass gallops yet. Okay, then fair enough. We've had so much rain. That was weeks and weeks ago. Our stable visit. But when we walked on it, it was like concrete. It was wet. It was wet on top, but you could feel it underneath. It was rock solid. They couldn't put all the horses on the grass. That's why they've been schooling them over the all weather and doing all the Wexford gallops and that. But I think he will. I think the run will put him right. Will he win it, Jonbon? No, I think he'll finish second. I think Leo de Sud was impressive when he won.
Very good, yeah.
But I don't think I think there's better horses than him for the champion chase. And I think he'll be a champion, Queen Mother champion chase for next, not next year, but
2026, 7.
Yeah. I think. Because I think he's the new kid on the block sort of thing. There's a lot of more horses I've got more experience than him. The interest one I do like is the Only by the Night. Cromwell, and that won really well. He will run at Sandown, and I think he will be an open race despite a poor numbers, and he's an interesting runner. I think I will back him for that for the actual Tingle Creek. He won in the 2 miles on soft conditions in the Castle Chase Grade 3, winning by short head, but then also won good to soft at Exeter in a novice listed race, and that won by 3 1/4 lengths. But you know what Gavin Cromwell, horses are doing. Man. He's a very shrewdy, and I think he's got.
I've backed Cromwell once.
And I think he will have a couple of good chasers. This one and the Arkle. July Flower.
Yeah.
Definitely. I will definitely, if I did it with anti-post, I will back July Flower for the Arkle. I know with everybody all mentioned about Colbeck de Boer and Lambar and Averbeat, you know, I think July Flower would do that. But coming back to the Tingle Creek, if it was me, it'll be Only by the Night. I think he'll win it if he's on song. But
where would you put your at then, Sean?
I think the betting dictates how it's going to finish. If I'm honest, I think Ella Toms
he's going to be tough.
He's going to be tough to beat
because of that 18th length win.
That's it, and I think he's going to. Well, it's exactly like you were alluding to. Willie Mullins is picking his prizes. Do you see what I mean? And this is a nice prize. Do you know what I mean? And I don't. Considering it's the only one that he'll send over. Normally he has two. Because normally he chucks two in there.
It's a shame that we're not mentioning Nicky Henderson's horses like winning, because we used to do it in the past years. But
unfortunately,
I think that horse age catch up.
But you also think as well, like we talk about that, you know. But you got to remember, taking away Constitution Hill and Jonbon, he's still got some fascinating prospects in Django Bay. You know, which is in, you got
the Lumber, so Gino to come back. There's
Lumber,
plenty there.
So there's plenty there.
Would you back Jonbon for the Tingle?
I'm all over Jonbon for the Tingle Creek. I think as well. I just think that a price like 11 to 4 is the same as me looking at Constitution.
I think Ella Toms. I think that I actually think it finishes in the order of betting. I don't see Jonbon. I'll be honest with you. I don't see Jonbon turning around 16, 15 lengths that he finished behind at Cheltenham.
If it would be me, I'd be going Only by the Night. So what do you reckon?
I'm in the same camp as Sean, to be honest.
But it is a different course.
It is, but from my point of view, is if he was that far behind Le de Sud, going up the hill, if Le de Sud is that good and that quick, I reckon he could only make that gap even bigger.
What's your reasons, Glenn?
Personally?
Any reasons?
Well, I just think what Sean was saying, I just think that like turning that around, you know, just because Jonbon's going there, it's still not a given.
No.
You know,
he's unbeaten there. That's brilliant. But at some point, that O's got to go.
As you alluded to, Jay, as age creeps up on us, how many times can he not perform at Cheltenham, go on to this race, and bounce back? The older you get, the harder it becomes.
Oh, of course it does.
God.
You know.
Yeah.
Nicky saying about his horses a couple of weeks behind.
I can see that.
You've got to, well, personally for me,
I can, but are they
not
not
in front
all
of the camera?
The problem is as well.
He's in front of the camera. He's not going to go, well, yeah, there's no wrong with horses, and I can't believe he didn't win.
Yeah, do you know what I find?
You know what I mean? So I just think, I don't know, I'm not sure how much I can read into that.
I mean, he had a run at, I know we're recording it, but he had a run at Ascot today. It was disappointing in a novice chase, lucky place, and everybody was out.
Shocking! You see the way he jumped on the fence.
Absolutely right. The thing is, though, everybody was on it.
Their horses, of course they will. I just think,
but at what point?
How much I can believe that, I don't know.
At what point is it? If you look at where he's based, and there's Harry Denham, who's in a decent bit of form.
Oh, he's
right.
Yeah.
So if we take that into consideration, Harry Denham is less than a mile away from Nicky Henderson. Yes. So they're working off the same sort of. They're working off the same sort of groundwork. They're working off the same sort of weather. Don't get me wrong. Yes, they're going to have different horses that like different ground. But Nicky Henderson, there's got to come a point where he can't just only have heavy running horses. So he needs the ground to be ultra soft. It doesn't work that way. I get it is, and it is rhyme or reason. Yeah. But you went Harry Denham 2 days before we went.
He was jumping his horses over the fences.
That's what I mean. He's in fine form, and he's basically sharing a field.
Well, yeah,
they share the same field. The line runs along.
Well,
to a point.
But 2 point. Well, he's got his own stable, Harry Denham. He's improved his all weather gallops. I mean, I know we're going off point here with the team. I am. But no, Harry Denham's. He's like, because his gallops were washed out. So what he's done, he's put it as I think he had. Wood chip or something like that. He all got washed out. Now he's got all weather.
But you see what I'm
looking after.
To bring it back to Sean's point, they're in the same postcode.
They're in the same,
And so I get, and you're right, because we were at the ground and I agreed exactly. Well, I mentioned the ground.
Before
Nicky did when we were there. I was like, fucking hell, it was ridiculous.
Because he was saying
he was cleaning my shoes.
It
weren't sinking into the ground. You know, so I get it. But there has to come a point where, well, if other trainers are adapting and able to get their horses running to a level. Anyway, from my point of view, I think the betting actually does dictate. I don't see Jonbon turning it round on either of them, the Sandown form or the Cheltenham.
But Mark's all over Jonbon.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's probably do, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
But
yeah.
we will be witnessing that one.
It'll be a good. It'll be a great race.
Hold on a minute. Hello. I'll let him know. Nick Jensen said, "Shut the fuck up."
Anyway.
yeah. Oh, that's it then. That really covers what we were going to do in this video.
Yes.
A preview. If you do follow us on TikTok, you would have seen a video that young Sean put out. Very excitingly, being given some tickets to give away for the Champion Hurdle. Well, we alluded to a
2 pairs.
possible third pair. It looks like we're going to get that third pair, so we'll be giving 3 pairs away for the Champion Hurdle. That's 3 pairs of tickets, which ain't a bad free gift, is it? So obviously watch this space. Keep an eye on TikTok as well. Keep an eye on X or Twitter if you're old.
Yeah.
But yeah, keep an eye on all the socials for us, and then we'll have more details coming out a bit nearer the time about how we're going to do the tickets, what way we're going to give them away. We're going to do one here and the other sort of 2 pairs on TikTok. We haven't quite finalised between ourselves exactly what we're going to do 100%, but we're near as down there. So yeah, get involved, comment down below, give us a like, share, subscribe, do all the good stuff.
Do that on TikTok as well.
And yeah, get on TikTok and do that so you don't miss it. And then obviously, like I say, when it comes near the time we finalised everything, we'll let you know how we're going to do with the tickets. And you never know, you could be at the Champion Hurdle.
That'd be brilliant.
And that's not bad for a freebie.
I'll tell you what, ain't it just? You know what I mean? And we got to pay for ours.
Yeah, we're paying for ours. Yeah,
no sponsorship deal for us.
Yeah, no affiliates here. Yeah. No, and now for working with our sponsor.
Yeah, we should have that.
Be nice, but yeah, that's not happening. So yeah, there you go, folks. That's our sort of previews of the next couple of big races we picked out. Obviously, there's lots of good racing coming up. There's a lot of good racing this weekend as well.
There is,
so,
yes.
Hopefully you find some winners out there. Hopefully we'll find some winners, and we'll see you again for another video soon. Cheerio, folks.
Bye bye.